Ladies and gentlemen, please have the highest round of applause for Mr. Rabindra Narayan, MD and President, PTC Network, and Shantanu David, Special Correspondent, Exchange for Media for this one. Please give it a hand, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment we need to clap and appreciate. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us over here. It's an absolute pleasure.
Mr. Narayan, PTC is one of the most prominent Punjabi news channels, but more interestingly, it's one of the only, it is the only Indian news channel impaneled by the White House. So could you first tell us about how that came about?
See, I sincerely believe that all the innovation and all experimentation is being done by regional channels, be it from the north or the south. Globally, the main reason of our success is that the Indian diaspora, which is settled abroad, especially in USA, Canada, Europe, and Australia, they miss their roots. They want to know the news as well as they want somebody to tell the news about them, about their country, about their politics, and how it impacts them. In USA, we're proud to say that we're the only news channel which is embedded in the White House. The reason is the presence of very strong Punjabi community. They are very vociferous, they're very participative, and they take the politics and the running of governments very seriously in those countries also. You will see that many of the campaign managers, many of the lobbyists, many of the community leaders are very, very well entrenched into the national, federal, and state politics there. A lot of Indians hold very important positions. So, unlike the Indian news channels which exist in India, who are merely broadcasting what they're broadcasting here in those countries, we decided to set up a studio, have a staff dedicated and responsibly reporting about the developments which will impact the Indians settled in those countries. We have 23 reporters across 19 countries in the world. Our coverage of the COVID was one of the largest coverage that an Indian network has done across the globe, and we won several awards for that coverage. The second reason is that when we set up shop there, we understood that these new generation Indians in these countries are not so much worried about what Narendra Modi is doing in India or Rahul Gandhi is doing in a roadshow or a Padayatra. In Canada, they are worried about what is Trudeau doing today and how is this decision going to impact my housing problem or my community development or my group housing or my paid or my salaries or my expenses. The economy is going in crisis. They need to know what the government is doing. Unfortunately, none of the Indian channels were reporting on it. So they had to rely only on the English media. Many of the people living there do not even understand that language that passionately as their own language. So when a Punjabi channel tells them about what Trudeau is doing, or when a Trudeau visits our studio, gives an interview, and just for the audience in Canada, which is Indian, it makes a huge impact. Then when we discuss social problems there, the divorce issues, the domestic violence and the other issues, it impacts their daily life. What has been happening that the older generation misses the information from here, while the younger generation needs the information of their surrounding. That's the problem. Now, you will be very shocked to notice that in Canada, the battle is not between the Canadians and Indians that they're taking over. The battle is between Indian Canadians and the Indians who are going there now. Because they think those Indians are going to capture their jobs, their opportunities. So there are a lot of issues which make us very, very relevant, which is why we decided that 30% of the content in those beams will be sourced and produced in those countries. That is how our journey began about 10 years odd ago in US, Canada, and Europe. And in USA, we're proud to claim that we're the only Indian channel impaneled in the White House, and what they would have seen through their rigorous screening process, that we are credible and we are authentic and we matter. That's why they're powerless. So that answers your question.
And that answers quite a few questions. But I had to ask that, because how comfortable are you with this term regional language? Because, it's sort of mainstream seems to be divided between Hindi and English, but like there's so many communities, like you so rightly said, who have their own identity. So could you comment on that?
See, calling ourselves regional is a very Indian and India-based mentality. Nobody in Canada calls us regional. They call us Indian channel. Everywhere else that you go, anywhere in the country, they'll call you Indian channel. Or at the most, by the language that you're broadcasting, a Punjabi channel, or a Tamil channel, or a Telugu channel. It's only here. And that's because the mindset here is that Indian news channels being Hindi channels, or at the most some English channel, which are based in Delhi. Except those channels which are not based in Delhi, except those channels who are based in Delhi, all other are regional. They may be talking about national politics in Delhi, but they're regional. So that's not the problem with us. And as I told you, expansion, experimentation is being done by regional channels. And they are the ones expanding globally. You go to Dubai, you will see Asianet, Sun TV, and PTC, the power of those channels. They are watched more. I'll give you an example. In UK, there are bar ratings. So we are in countries where there are ratings and where there is no rating game. So in UK, there is bar. And every week, at least twice or at least once, we have a number one Asian channel. Asian channel means your Bangladeshi, Sri Lankan, Pakistani, Indian, Nepalese, all these channels put together. The Star, Z, Sony, all of them put together. PTC beats all of them in ratings. Now, why can't we do it in India or why can't the news channels do it in India? Now, I'll give you an example. You can have an exclusive interview of the Prime Minister of this country. You can have the live coverage of a bomb blast of this country. But the ratings of a SARS movie will beat that.
Right. Yeah.
So the rating games is a very flawed game. We succeed in those countries because they rate you on your credibility, on your reach. Now, Prime Minister of Canada or of Britain will give an interview to PTC because he knows the channel is authentic, has credibility, has the eyes and ears of the voter that matters to them.
Right.
Which is why they come to us, which is why business comes to us in those countries. 60% of our business in those countries is generated in those countries. There are very few advertisers in India who want to advertise in Canada, USA, or Europe. Most of the deal is financed from the advertiser in those countries. Why does it happen? Because we don't have this flawed rating system in Canada, USA. It's not so. There is no rating that Asian channels are involved in USA or Canada or Australia. It's only your reputation. Are you authentic? Are you credible? Are you do you have the following of the people? That is the only credibility. Unfortunately, it is not so in India. An NDTV or an Aaj Tak or a India News or India TV, none of these channels put together will be able to match the rating of a Star, Z or a Sony. Is that the true picture? No. If it is true, then Modi and others should be aiming to get a feature role in some fiction serial in some of these entertainment channels. There, why they are after news channels? The country is voting, you're electing your Bhagya, Data, or whosoever in the country will run the show only based on the news channel coverage. And the ratings say news channels don't matter. So this flawed rating system is only in this country, nowhere else. Which is why I've been fighting for CRP, content rating for it. If the news channels get CRPs, I'm sure they will have better rating, better business opportunities, and more hyper-local advertising, which we are able to do in those countries. Now, I'll give you an example. How globally we are addressing it and what is the problem in India. In India, you have a satellite transmission mandatory for uplinking and downlinking, which means only one beam can go up and one beam can go down. But in Canada or USA, we have separate beams. My East Coast beam is different from my West Coast beam. My advertising, my content, my timing in those beams is different. That is possible because I'm not forced to go on a satellite with a single beam. I can go through IP, I can go through P2P fiber, I can go through cloud playout, and I could have varied advance in varied regions. It's not possible here. Why does our government not change the CRP system to CRP system and allow non-satellite based transmission? Whatever punishment you can give for wrong content broadcast on satellite, you can give the same problem, same punishment on a fiber-based or an internet-based transmission. We don't have those. We are not forward-looking. We don't believe in the playing field. We should. All television channels in India should protest. Millions of dollars of foreign exchange is going in huge uplinking and downlinking costs to the foreign satellites, which are operating out of Russia or US or Europe or Singapore. And you can't even control them. The beams you can't control. Here you can control everything. And you're not allowing a YouTube channel operator to be on the same platform as a national channel or a regional channel, which is on satellite. So not only the business will grow, that's how we survive in those countries. We have a different set of advertisers in Vancouver, a different set of advertisers in Toronto, and we can maximize our revenue through those varied beams. If I have the same opportunity here, even Indian news channels or whatever channel can make more money, can be more relevant locally. So this is how the global expansion of Indian channels is happening by innovation. So we innovated, we did cloud playout, we did fiber-based signal delivery, and those governments allowed it. And we are not battling with the rating system there. That's the key to success there.
Right. And, like you said, that basically the Indian diaspora is among the most economically impactful around the world, and you sort of cater to them in all these different countries. So which are your biggest markets abroad?
Then Europe, USA, Australia, and Pakistan.
No.
Pakistan is a very big market, then Indonesia, Thailand. Basically, wherever you find Punjabi. If I have a reporter in Ghana or Belgium or Spain, which means I generate money out of there, I have business there, there is audience.
Right.
So I would say these are the markets which are very, very relevant to us.
And so, with the elections coming up and about half the world's population about to vote, and you have channels, the PTC in local languages over there, like you said, you have Trudeau coming over or Sunak and so on and so forth. So, could you tell us that how are you managing that? Exactly, that's what.
In which are leading up to the campaign election, that. I have a network of 6 reporters across USA, which are reporting every day on what is happening in electoral politics there.
Right.
A lot of mayors, a lot of MPs, a lot of secretaries on television channel, they give interviews, they talk about what their plans are, and we cover the election functions, the lobbying, all that goes behind and in front of the screen in those countries.
Okay.
Canada, again, started in 2012, there were about 2 or 3 Punjabi MPs there. Now there are 19. The next prime minister of that country might be sick.
Right.
He already is running 2, 3 local governments.
Right.
So that's the power of Indians abroad, and we cater to that community. We give them the voice. We become the bridge between the Indian residents in those countries and their world there, their business, their economy, their politics, everything that happens around them. We become the house, we become the bridge between them.
Great. And I think we have time for one question.
Hello, myself Shazia from Galgotias University. Sir, I want to ask that what future trends do you foresee in regional channels to project the Indian narrative in global stage, sir?
See, regional channels are right now poised for business and viewership success. They're innovating, they're expanding, they're easy to adapt new technologies rather than the second proliferation of established mainline channels, and they're very, very adaptive to change, which is why they're succeeding. The key is change, and the key is adapting new technologies and being relevant in those local markets. If you're relevant in those local markets, if you address the current generation of Indians there, you'll be relevant and you'll succeed.
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, the you can get a lot louder, please. I'll request you all. That's the versatility, that's the experience sir brings to the table. I'll request Shantanu to kindly give away the token of appreciation to sir. Can we have the token of appreciation on stage, please?